the Jewish people are freed. Moses led them out of Egypt. They get to not be slaves anymore. But where are they going? They're living out in the wilderness. What happened to them after? What happened to them after they crossed the Red Sea? After Moses got the 10 Commandments? They're supposed to be entering this promised land. They're supposed to be getting their inheritance, which is this promised land, this nation, this land of their own. Not slaves in Egypt, land of their own. They have to get it through faith. And if you watch my Jericho videos, it's not just an empty field. They have to do some conquering. So Moses is leading them. They are a grumbly, whining, complaining, ungrateful group. They every time anything is hard, they're ready to go back and be slaves again in Egypt. I don't understand that. So Moses sends 12 scouts to see the promised land. 12 scouts ahead of this huge group of people. He has thousands and thousands of people. The scouts come back. 10 of the scouts come back and they don't have a good report. But they do say this. They are like, hey, the land, it's magnificent. We really like it. Good choice. Lots of fruit, fertile. It's flowing with milk and honey. Great land. But there's giants there. There's like all these large people and they're going to kill us. So let's not go there. And 2 of the scouts of the 12 was Joshua and Caleb. Joshua is the one who ends up leading the people in the video that I did about Jericho. And there's Caleb. Caleb is like, hey, who cares? The land, y'all, it's great. Let's go. Surely the Lord will give us the victory like he always does. He's going to take care of it. Let's go. Let's go conquer it. But the 10 scouts spread their discouragement, their worry, their fear like poison throughout the whole group of the Jewish nation there. They're like, and everyone's like, we're not going to go. You can't make us. If we go, they're just going to be slaves and we should have went back to Egypt. And they're ready to kill the leaders at this point. Moses and Aaron are the head honchos there, the leaders. They fall on their face and beg God to have mercy. Beg God. God is big mad. Big mad. He's ready to just wipe them all out at this point. If you want to know more, come check out the next video. I think I ended with God was big mad. Now, I don't want to make this sound like God is not merciful, because he is. But the Israelites, when they were leaving Egypt, God was feeding them. Manna and quail were falling from the sky, feeding them. They were able to hit rocks and water came out. He was leading them with a cloud. Follow this cloud. I'm taking the promised land. During the day and at night, it was a fire. God was with them. They saw his miracles. You don't hit rocks and water comes out. Miracles. But the people were still so rebellious. They were still ready to kill God's chosen leaders because they didn't like what they said. They don't want to go to the promised land. They're scared. They don't think that God's going to provide and God's going to take care of them. They keep threatening that they're going to go back to Egypt. Egypt was better. Complaining, okay? So when I tell you what God's reaction to this, it's not because he's not a merciful God, but he's just. So he tells the people, I've heard you. I've heard all of it. You will not enter the promised land. You do not get to go. He was ready to wipe them out, and Moses begged for their life. He tells them, you don't get to go. All of the people over 20 years old, you will wander and die in the wilderness. You will not enter the promised land. The younger generation can go after 40 years. And also, because of your faithfulness, Joshua, Caleb, you get to go to the promised land. God tells them that I've heard everything you've said. I heard it all. And Now I'm telling you this. You will all die in the wilderness because you've complained against me. And he says that, I'm trying to find where it is. He says that, I don't know where it is, but I'll find it and put it down here. He says that everything you were worried about, that's going to happen now. You feel abandoned? Well, now you are abandoned. And a lot of them just die in the wilderness. They just died off after the 40 years. So once the 40 years is over, Joshua ends up becoming the new leader, not Moses. Moses dies. And Joshua leads them and to start conquering the nations in the promised land and take over. Caleb, 85-year-old Caleb, he says he feels as strong as he did when he was 40. God kept him strength and he inherits the land.